so I stopped being lazy. Yeah, and I became creative. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come eat.
Welcome to the Silver Lining Podcast. I am your favorite host, Sterlington, and I have your favorite guest on, Cam Turner. How you doing today, Cam?
Happy
All
Friday.
right.
Feeling good. Looking forward to this weekend.
All
Glad we're in
right.
the prime time game this week.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Get that Matthew McConaughey going.
Right.
So, yeah, we about to cover Falcons Chiefs coming up on Sunday, 8:20 p.m. 8:20 Eastern Standard Time on this coming Sunday. What are you looking forward to the most about this game?
I'm looking forward to seeing how we stack up against a Super Bowl caliber team. It's early in the season. This is not playoff football, but there may be a little bit of a playoff atmosphere. This might be one of the first times the Falcons gonna actually pop out and show out. We've had some abysmal football the last few years, man. I'm actually looking forward to this. I wish I had tickets to the game because I feel like we really gonna show up. The dome gonna be rocking. We got the Atlanta feel. Man, I'm telling you, dude, that one win, because like I go to work all the time, dog. So I was in the office this week, just seeing Falcons fans coming out the woodworks. Like, where was y'all at before? Where was y'all at? I'm glad y'all out now. I'm
Hey.
glad y'all out. I'm glad Kurt got y'all out now.
They thought it was same old Falcons. They was like, same old Falcons, god damn it. So then they wasn't showing up, but
Man, I ain't gonna hold you. I thought it was gonna be like that too, but hey, we managed to flip the script, managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat.
that's right.
So this got me feeling optimistic about this week, man. I'm seeing what the offense can be. I'm
Yeah.
seeing what the defense can be. They can both be top 10 in the league. That's doable. I know we can do top half of the league, but if we can push top 10, that's good enough to maybe get a playoff spot.
Yeah, yeah, man. I literally now I'll admit the division shaking out the way it is so far with how good the Saints look and how good because I thought about it. Saints scored 40 against us in the last game of the year. So they own 3 straight games, 40 points. So maybe they do have a good offense. And obviously the Bucks won the division last year, and they bring back a lot of their team. So we're gonna be in a dogfight for the division. It looks like. But that win was huge, just for keeping us in contention during the season. Not further you start getting back in the standings, the more you start having to depend on other teams to fail for you to succeed. And we don't want to be in that position if we can help it, especially with how loaded the NFC is. The NFC is like, it's not, as top heavy as the AFC. But as far as depth, it seems to be a little bit more there. So as long as the Falcons can stay competitive, I think we got a real chance. Now, one of the other things that has me kind of optimistic about this game. So I was kind of excited to kind of talk about this because I drew some parallels, and I know this is an older game, but there's a lot of carryover from this game to this game. So I think a lot about the 2020 game between the Falcons and the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium. That was Dan Quinn's last year. Started out 0-5, got fired, and you know, Raheem Morris took over as the interim head coach. Atlanta went into Arrowhead Stadium. They lost by a final score of 17-14. But if you watch that game, there and just saw how the seasons folded out, a lot of things. I think there's a lot of things that come from that game that has a little bit of carryover to this game, right? Now, obviously, you can't compare the two. One that's like apples and oranges, but when you see Raheem be returning in versus the same team as the same coach. Andy Reid's the same coach, Patrick Mahomes the same quarterback, AJ Terrell and Grady Jarrett both played on defense in that game. And that year the Chiefs were on a tear offensively. I think they we would the game that we played them was the last game their starters played that year because it was the 15th game of the year. They were still playing 16 games then, and it was the 15th game. The Falcons forced two turnovers. One was Sammy Watkins on the trick play. He was going to throw to Patrick Mahomes, but Keanu Neal was covering him, and he picked that thing off. And then Patrick Mahomes had the rare red zone pick to Foye Oluokun, and he got him with zone. And I guess one of the things that has me kind of excited about that is, the Chiefs are a different team, but I think they're less potent offensively than they were then. Now they are a little better in the trenches for sure, but their left tackle, I can't remember his name. I just can't remember his name. But he's been taking a pretty bad beating to start the year. He had a rough game against the Ravens. He had a rough game against the Bengals. I think he got benched. I didn't watch all of that game, but I think I heard he got benched. And Trey Hendrickson got 2 sacks against him before he got benched. Um, so I'm seeing, the cracks in the O-line, which is one of the weaknesses they had in 2020. We bring the same scheme. We bring the same scheme, but with better players. And the Chiefs are going to be down Isaiah Pacheco. The way I view the Chiefs now, I don't view them quite as the offensive juggernaut that they were back then. I view them more as a more well-balanced team. That's more that tough, gritty team. Back then they were the flashy team, and then they played Atlanta. They got held to their lowest point total in the regular season, at least with the starters playing. The Falcons, when I say the Falcons not only could have won that game, they probably should have won that game. Uh, the Falcons were up 14-10 with about 2 minutes left, and Patrick Mahomes threw a fade route to AJ Terrell. Threw a fade route to Tyreek Hill with AJ Terrell covering. Boy, AJ got both hands on the ball, caught it, fell to the ground, and basically a ground calls incompletion. But you know how it is. You got to finish it. They ended up scoring a touchdown to put them up 17-14. The Falcons were driving. They stalled out around the 20-ish yard line or so, somewhere between 20 and 25 yard line. And Koo missed an uncharacteristically short field goal at the end.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was so strange. It was like, oh my God, that was something you thought was a given, right?
That was knee deep in the prime Falcon days.
Yeah. Oh boy, they were that. Yeah. The transition between Dan Quinn and Arthur Smith. Yeah. And honestly, that was the light. Raheem had the team playing way better. Even though they still didn't win as many games, the team was playing way better than how Quinn had them. Like they were getting blown off the field like in every first half of every game for those last 5 years. But yeah. So there's a lot of carryover in that game, and I think this version of the Chiefs is a little less explosive. I don't want to put them down or put them away yet, but Travis Kelce hadn't looked like Travis Kelce. And I think, I don't think it's an athletic thing. I think part of it, at least a small part of it, is that his life outside of football has gotten better than his life in football.
Oh, absolutely.
He's 35. He's a made man in the NFL. Got 3 rings. He's gonna go down as probably a top 3 tight end of all time. He's got his podcast going on with his brother. He dating Taylor Swift. They serious. He be on tour with her. And he just got so much going on. I just don't see how a person could, a real human could want to do that as bad as they used to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand, man. The money outside of football is now better than the money you're making with it.
Yo. And the other thing too is the Chiefs kind of. I think Kyle Pitts going to in line for a big game. The Chiefs. I was looking at the numbers, and tight ends are cooking these guys.
Hey.
Like Isaiah likely cooked them. And that play at the end where he had the catch that he had a toe out of bounds, and then that was the end of the game. I'm like, that was a toe. Like it was an inch. Like
A
he
toe
could have
away
been
from
let it
gaming them.
in, and that would have been like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns from Isaiah Likely versus the Chiefs. And then Mike Gesicki, I hadn't seen that guy in like 2 years, 3 years, and then he shows up with like 90 plus yards against the Chiefs. And I think the other tight end had a decent game too. So I'm seeing a lot of things to be excited about with regards to the Falcons playing the Chiefs. What things are you excited about? Like you guys anything that you looking at and you like, oh, I think, you know, all right, this is where the Falcons got an advantage. Anything like that?
I'm looking forward to seeing our D line. I'm looking forward to see how they do against the front line of the Chiefs. I'm looking forward to seeing how they fare against them because that's going to be the real difference maker. I've noticed a trend. Like if you can actually get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, like actually get him sacked at least 2 or 3 times a game, you got a chance at winning. You got to disrupt his rhythm. He's somebody you gotta throw him off his game. So I'm looking forward to seeing Matt Judon go off. I want to see Grady create some interior pressure. Same with David Anyamata. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they fare up. This is a big game. This is a big test for them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's a huge test. And I'm pointing out a lot of the weaknesses that the Chiefs have, where the Falcons might have an advantage. But the Chiefs are 3.5 points favorites. They should be. They are the two-time defending reigning world champions, best quarterback in the league, best head coach in the league, best tight. Is Travis Kelce still the best tight end in the league, right?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So best tight end in the league, best defensive lineman in the league.
Right now,
Um,
Isaiah
so
Pacheco's out for 6 to 8 weeks, so we're luckily we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, so I mean, look, the Chiefs. I know I sound confident, but the Chiefs are loaded. It's
Oh,
a huge
absolutely.
test. And honestly, I could see the Chiefs winning. Heck, in a worst case scenario, I could even see them winning by like 9 points. Um, I think the keys, like you said, getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And I think part of getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes isn't just that. I think we're gonna have to do we're going to play sticky coverage. Uh, Now I don't we play mostly zone, so I don't know what that's gonna look like. But I think we got to disrupt his receivers timing just to get him to hold the ball a little longer, and maybe we can get some more pressure now. With Xavier Worthy, we know he's like super fast, so that could be risky. But Rasheed Rice he's been pretty explosive actually. Xavier Worthy had a good game against the Ravens, but he not so much against the Bengals. But Rasheed Rice has been a legitimate threat both games. Um, but the other thing too is as we have to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, we gotta keep Kirk upright. And the Chiefs, they got some dogs on that D line. We know Chris Jones, probably the best D lineman, at least interior. Like maybe you can make a case that TJ Watt's the best or Miles Garrett is the best, but when you start talking interior guys, guys over 300 pounds, Chris Jones is hands down best in the league. And then they also got George Karlaftis. I think he had double-digit sacks last year, I believe. Hadn't quite got off to as good a start, but I definitely noticed him on out there. Like he's jumping, he's making plays. And both of those guys are going to get some burn against Caleb McGarry. Now, Caleb McGarry had a good game last week, but we saw what happened that first week. Now, I blame at least half as much of what happened that first week on Zach Robinson as I do Caleb McGarry. I think that the offense didn't put Caleb McGarry in position to succeed. He has weaknesses, but it's a reason why he's been a starter for the Falcons for 6 years. I know everybody want to go ahead, usher him out the front door, usher him out the back door, usher him out the window. They just want him out the building. But I mean, he's been holding it down, and when you involve him in the run game, yeah, yeah, then his value skyrocket. So I think they'll how we win in the trenches. And then we got to have another game, a good game from Zach Robinson and Kirk Cousins. We get another good game from Zach Robinson as far as play calling, and not just you know open and drive or end of the half, beginning of the second half, whatever. If we can get some real creativity in there, I feel like I've seen some good execution, but I'm still not necessarily seeing a ton of creativity with the play calling, and so I don't really feel like we've gotten any easy touchdowns. In any of these games, and I don't know if we're gonna be able to get a turnover. Now, maybe we can get a turnover because the rookie Carson Steele. I think he's going to get the start for the Chiefs at running back. Obviously, when Pacheco was there, he wasn't getting as many carries. In the 10 or so carries he had with the Bengals, he fumbled. I remember turning to the TV and watching the fumble. Now, the Chiefs recovered it, but he already showing that maybe he might fumble. But I think turnover is probably another thing that we're going to need to get. Well, we're going to at least have to win the differential. Maybe we only get one turnover, but if we get one turnover and they don't get any, that helps.
Okay, no, I totally agree. I think defense is definitely have to set the tempo for this game. They're gonna have to keep us in this game because Patrick is gonna Patrick. We all know that. He can dish and dime to anybody. He really has no favorites. I know Travis is his guy, but look how the start of the season is going. He's had like what 2 games? He's like 5 catches in 2 games. So clearly he's cool with going to other guys. So I'm
So don't get too excited. We Falcons fans. This the week.
this could
It's
yeah,
about to-
exactly. And he's
So
on my
Travis
fantasy
Kelce
team as well.
about to have a
This could be the
career
week he goes off.
You about to have a career high.
Exactly.
That'd be crazy if you had a career high with the guys we got potentially covering him. Though I mean, maybe he can get off against the linebackers, but somebody should be able to not make him go crazy. I think.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm feeling confident, dog. I ain't feeling too confident. I will say the Chiefs secondary is a little bit step up from the Eagles. They did
Yeah.
let L'Jarius Sneed go and were cool with it. So like the guys they got they're solid. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they still got Trent McDuffie, all pro
Exactly.
corner.
Who's their DC? Is it Spagnola?
Yep.
Steve, man, he's
Hey
that
man,
dude,
one
man.
of the greatest postseason DCs ever,
He knows
man.
his role and he plays it well. He's gonna have some shit dialed up for Kirk. He's gonna have some blitzes. He's gonna have some different coverages. He's gonna have some crazy shit. It all depends. Like, can Zach Robinson dial up some creativity? Is what you said. I totally agree.
In fact, actually, so that actually is a great segue to the next thing I want to do. So I think one of the things I want to start doing a little bit more is we break down how would you attack the Falcons because obviously we watch the Falcons the most. You are best at what you do the most. I could tell you about what I think of all the other teams, but the team I'm watching every Sunday or every Monday or every time they have a game is going to be the Falcons. So if you're the Chiefs defensive coordinator, you see what you've seen from week 1 and week 2 against the Falcons. How you attacking the Falcons?
Like the offense.
Yes, how you attacking the Falcons offense?
Well, number one, McGarry. I'm attacking him. I'm 100% attacking McGarry. After that, really the key to beating us is getting pressure on us because we run the ball very well. So you know they're gonna try to stop the run on us. So I would try to attack McGarry and try to really dial down on stopping the run and make Kirk beat us. That's exactly what I would do. I'm gonna test that Achilles. I'm gonna make Kirk throw that ball. Y'all not running it on us.
Right, you're gonna make Kirk throw and try to get Kirk on the move.
Exactly. Get him moving. Get him uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think we saw pretty clearly the difference between Kirk when he's getting annihilated with pressure and Kirk when he's got that clean pocket, and that was two different things. I think for me, I would move Chris Jones around as much as possible. I would try to isolate him against Bergeron. I would try to isolate him against McGarry. I would want to see what kind of explosiveness the Falcons could produce. I really feel like the only explosive plays, I feel like the explosive plays we saw were pretty much all Darnell Mooney catches. The touchdown he had, and then the two catches he had on the game-winning drive. And those were the only explosive plays in the pass game for the Falcons, basically in the first two games. So if I'm the Chiefs, I'm going to play physical with Atlanta's receivers, and you're going to have to show me that you can beat me deep. I'm gonna go ahead and try to play physical receivers, try to throw off the timing, and try to put a lot of pressure on Kirk. And also, obviously, that's gonna start after you stop the run game. There were times against the Steelers that the run game looked potent, but then we got way too predictable with it. And then I feel like once we went back to the staple of the run game, which is that outside zone or the inside zone, we saw a lot more success, a lot more sustainable success in that run game. So they're gonna probably want to load the box. Now, if they load the box, then that's where they might have some problems. Because you start loading the box now, Kirk's going to probably want to try some play action and be able to attack you deep. So if I'm the Chiefs, I want to prioritize stopping the run, and I'm hoping I'm able to stop it with 7 in the box. But if they have to go to 8, then they're gonna have to live with whatever happens on those play action plays. Hopefully, if you're a Chiefs defensive coordinator, you're hoping that you can get them to third and medium, and then be able to attack Kirk a little bit more. Right now, if you're the Chiefs offense, you Andy Reid, we just gonna pretend that you got about 7 inches taller and 120 pounds heavier, right? And you gotta grow your mustache out too, man. You got to do your interview like this from now.
Oh, man.
So if you're Andy Reid, how you attacking this Falcons defense?
Man, well, you just lost your best running back, so running the ball might not be the best. We gave up a lot. We did give up a lot of yards to Saquon, but Saquon is a very good running back. I don't know shit about this rookie. I don't know how good he is. He's nobody to me until he proves himself. But he played on the Chiefs, and Patrick gonna make him look good. So we'll see. If I'm attacking the Falcons defense, I'm gonna let Patrick be Patrick. I'm gonna try to rely on the offensive line, make sure they block well. Short, easy plays, kind of exactly how Tom Brady plays. Just short, quick routes, little slants, little cuts, little outs, things like that. Just dink and dunk down the field, and every now and then do some play action, try to beat us over the top. Really test AJ Terrell, see if we can get him beat. I know we got 2 really good safeties, which is a blessing. But I think that's probably what I would do.
Now, if I'm attacking the Falcons defense, I want to figure out who I can isolate in coverage, right? Because they could attack AJ, but I don't really feel, just based off, we talking about from the perspective of who we know best. We know the Falcons best. I don't really see a receiver that the Chiefs have that I think would really give AJ some problems, right? Now, I'm not saying that you won't see a receiver with 7 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown or something like that, because the Falcons play zone. AJ traveled sometimes, but sometimes he didn't. Sometimes AJ was just in zone, and you had Mike Hughes covering you, or you had D. Alford covering you. That's just what it was going to be this play because we play in zone. I've also seen that when it comes to tackling from zone coverage, the Falcons seem to be pretty good. Now they hadn't been great tacklers all year. They definitely missed some tackles in the Steelers game. They missed a lot. Well, not I won't say a lot, but they had a few missed tackles, namely by Troy Anderson against the Eagles. But the whole line for the Eagles was kind of road great. They were making it hard for a lot of the linebackers and guys. But when it comes to guys who catching the ball in space, the corners are usually bearing down on them and going ahead and making that tackle. So maybe I want to try to see who I can get out of position. Probably not going to be one of the safeties at Terrell, but I think I'm going to see what the second corner can do. I want to see what Mike Hughes can do. I don't really feel like he's been tested or targeted that much as the Falcons' second corner. I also want to, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm trying to isolate Caden Ellis in coverage. I
Oh, for
don't.
sure.
I'm like, maybe you could, maybe you want to isolate Troy Anderson. But what I've noticed with Troy is he's still getting a little bit better, right? So I feel like he wasn't very physical, but he lacked a lot of awareness in his first year in the league. This time I'm seeing him diagnose the plays faster. He's just not making the plays.
Yeah.
And if you talk about isolating Troy in coverage, well, it's probably going to be with Travis Kelce. And if I'm gonna go ahead and go after a linebacker, I'm gonna go after the one that's less athletic out of two. Troy's like a 4-4 guy. Let's go for the guy that's not a 4-4 guy. Let's go for that guy in coverage. All right. I also think now what I am curious about, I just don't know how the Chiefs gonna run the ball that well. Like they already
That's what I'm
kind of
saying, man. I'm like, I
shaky.
feel like they're gonna try to attack. They're gonna dink and dunk it down the field.
Let me ask now: do we think the Chiefs O line can push the Falcons D line around? Because there was some plays, like I said in the last stream, I don't feel like the Falcons. I don't. I feel like I thought they were going to be a little bit more dominant than they were. There was definitely some plays in the Eagles game where their O line outperformed our D line, and I also felt like that there was plays in the Steelers game where they were getting that team push, and they were outperforming us there as well. So maybe the Chiefs will be able to do that. Maybe they'll lean a little bit more on trying to run the ball just to protect that left tackle a little bit more. Same way we needed to protect McGarry. But I don't feel. I feel like the Falcons should be able to field a competitive line in the trenches against their O line, but that's the thing about it being early in the year. You're still trying to figure out, what are we for real? But like what because it's a tale of two games so far. That first game we got our ass kicked, but it was also the first game of the year. That was the first time they had all played together in a real game and first time they got any real contact. So, maybe they played Philly and they played a lot better because now they didn't get some real contact. And they get a better game plan. They playing better. So, that's probably going to be something I'm looking out for, and how I would attack if I'm both of those. Now it's easier said than done. I think I don't know if I think all of those things are going to come to, but if I were a Chiefs defense, that's how I'm going after them, right? Um, so got a score prediction for me?
I do, man. I do. Truth be told, man, I think we're gonna keep it competitive. I don't think we're gonna get it. I don't think we're gonna pull off the win just cause Pat is Pat. We're gonna really have to get some pressure on him. Like we're gonna have to look at the teams that have beaten him. Look at how they've beaten him. They put him on his ass. Look at that Super Bowl against Tampa Bay. They put him on his ass. That's what it's gonna have to take. And I don't know. The question for me is, how good is the Chiefs O line? Are they better than Phillies?
No, I don't think so.
If they're not better than Phillies, I think we got a good chance. I think Judah can have a good game. I think Brady's gonna put some pressure. Anyamata's gonna do some. Gonna beat him as well. I think it's gonna be a matchup game, but I think as a team we have enough dogs to make this competitive. Now, I think it's gonna be a one-score game. Now, if we win or lose, it all depends on how things fall out. But I think it'll be probably like 31-28 Chiefs, if I'm being honest. It will be a one-score game. I do know that.
Gotcha.
I don't think they're gonna beat our ass.
I think they're in for a dogfight too. I think this is the first road game of the year the Chiefs have played. I think after what the Falcons put out on the first game of the year in the Georgia Dome, they're gonna be motivated to want to perform better. The Chiefs are obviously motivated. They're trying to go for a third Super Bowl, but this will be their first time playing on the road, although they are playing inside, so it's not like the harshest thing in the world.
Hey, the roof gonna be open, baby.
The roof is gonna be open. The roof is gonna be open. Um, you know, I I've been trying to put myself in a place where I'm actually comfortable picking the Falcons because I think this version of the Chiefs, they touchable. This is a Chiefs team I think can be beaten on any given Sunday. Now maybe in the postseason it's a different game. You know, postseason is a different story. If you're not one of those elite teams in the playoffs where they've been so many times and they try to win another championship, um, you know, that'd be a whole different conversation. But I do think that the Falcons can win this game. I guess since you picked the Chiefs, I'm gonna pick the Falcons just to, you know, to have somebody here picking the Falcons. Um, I think the offense is still ascending. And I don't think they peaked out. I think Kirk is still ramping up. I think the play call is still ramping up. I think O-line still ramping up. I think the Falcons can score the most points they've scored all year against the Chiefs. I don't think it'll be much more than what we scored in Philly. And now the real question, the real hard part for me with regards to trying to convince myself is that I'm like Iris Sterlington. Can you convince yourself that, you know, if the Falcons score 24 points, is that going to be enough to beat the Chiefs? But when I look back at the game against the Bengals, you know, they won 26 to 25. They scored a defensive touchdown. They only scored 20 points on offense.
That's
They're about
true.
to be on the road.
No,
Um,
even less because they had a field goal to win it.
that's what I'm saying. They scored 20 points, but six of those points, 26 points altogether, but six of those points were from yeah, yeah, and then they also had to get a field goal at the end to win. But and then they got that one off a penalty.
Exactly.
So it wasn't like, you know, we saw the normal Patrick Mahomes magic. Now, I don't never know what to make of that because when they play the Bengals, man, the damn Bengals they just mess with them. Everybody's got that team where it's like no matter how good you are, this team gonna mess with you. And the Bengals in Arrowhead, they always mess with the Chiefs. But I think I can kind of talk myself into saying that the Falcons can win this game. Um, we'll keep it close and say 24-23.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm with you, man. I want to be a believer, and I in my heart of
I do
hearts, I think
too.
we're gonna get this dub. But I think Steve is gonna have a little bit more in his bag than Zach will be. I think is what you said. It's still ramping up. The offense is still finding a way to click, but it's coming. It's coming. They gave me a lot of optimism. I really loved what I saw from Philly. I really saw the trajectory of where this team could potentially be. But
All
yeah,
right.
man,
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to this Sunday.
Hey man, look, that make two of us. So
And when's the last
um
time we said that?
last time I said, I guess when we was playing the Steelers, but that's just that like that
Yeah,
off season. I'm ready for football ramping up. Usually, once the game's being played, now that's a whole different story.
I'm trying to tell you.
Once the game's being played, because you know this year we come in with new coach, new quarterback, new host. The whole thing was just like I can't wait to see it. But now it's like I can't wait to see because I think we might actually be able to win it. You know, like
Oh,
I'm
say
picking
that.
them. I'm not necessarily picking the Falcons in earnest, but I do realistically believe the Falcons can win this game. And hopefully they don't get caught looking ahead because after this game against the Chiefs, got two division games against Bucks and who they play first, Bucks or Saints first?
I think they put the Saints first, didn't
I
they?
believe they play the Saints first too in Atlanta. Yeah. So they play the Saints first, and then they get the Bucks. And they both undefeated and looking good, so it's hard not to look ahead. But you know, it's also pretty easy not to look ahead when you got the two-time defending champions in your building on prime time,
Yes.
where you hadn't won a game yet. Because you know that win was great, but that win was also on the road. You got to win one for your home fans too. Give them something to cheer about. Anything else you want to add, Cam?
Hey man, it's gonna be a good game. I'm looking forward to
Yep.
see how things shake out. I'm glad we got a primetime game, baby.
Yo, hey, got 2 more after this one too.
We got 2 more.
Yeah, they were sipping the Kool-Aid with the schedule because we got 4 on primetime games all year, and
Shit,
we
who
just
the other
played
2?
one. One is against the Bucks,
Okay.
and one is random as hell. It's like against the Raiders or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like what? Like it just.
Okay.
I'm like, so we don't play the Saints at all in prime time, but we got the Raiders in the prime time game, like an uncommon opponent that didn't have a winning record last year. We didn't have a winning, it just that was a strange one. But I'm like, hey
Okay.
man, I ain't complaining. Hey, go ahead. You know what? Long as the Falcons win, I really don't care.
Same. Same. I am praying for a 2-on-1 special.
All right, awesome, man. Well, look, we about to go ahead and sign on off. Just got a Twitter up for the page. It is the AG Lining on X.com. AG Lining 91. Excuse me. So come check us out. We're gonna start getting the tweets up, doing this thing. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. But most important, leave a comment if you have something to say. Really trying to build a sense of community here. So if you're a Falcon fan, go ahead and comment, and we'll go ahead and chat about it, and maybe we can have one of you guys on. Have a good one. Thank you for joining me today, Cam, and we will see you after the game on Sunday night.
All right, be easy, my brother.
All right.